I would say that this is going to be a heavy, more serious topic, but you've seen the title, that should go without saying. Let's just get into it. There's a good chance that prior to this you've already seen a few other videos where people are condemning ToonKritic, saying how disgusting his actions are, relating their personal experiences with him, and that's all fair enough, but what actually happened isn't the worst thing about the situation, or at least it's not what we really need to be talking about. We need to be talking about how it happened, and how it was able to continue for so long. While it is easy to criticise how ToonKritic's friends from TF2 and Roundtable is Magic reacted in the immediate aftermath, I am not convinced there was any kind of conspiracy or cover-up going on like some stories I've heard. If there was hesitation or indecision from the likes of Golden Fox, Dr. Wolf, Lightning Bliss and so on, then there's a good reason for that.
What he has done was deeply offended and saddening to our entire community, as well as breaking my heart and trust with him. I want to make it perfectly clear that this was one of the most difficult choices I had to face in friendship in my life this far.
Just listen to that tone of voice. These people are confused and distraught. They've just found out their friend was a paedophile, for goodness sake, and they have to deal with all the emotional baggage of that, as well as figuring out how best to make the information public. I do not envy their position in the slightest, but while I hate to say you brought this on yourselves, you brought this on yourselves. Right now everyone is telling of their horror stories with Toon, projecting what we now know about him onto his past actions and saying, I knew he was a creep all along. And to be fair, a lot of the stuff he's done is extremely shitty. Groping and sexually harassing women at conventions, asking them to cheat with him, generally acting like a grade A sleazeball. Even someone I consider a good friend in the fandom was targeted at one point. But here's the funny thing, until recently I was not aware of any of this, which is strange given the sheer volume of incidents we now know that occurred. I mean, we're not talking about anything so mundane as, I don't know, a commission not being refunded. This is scummy, unforgivable behaviour which would have ruined ToonKritic if it had got out earlier. But it didn't. Because time after time, those with the power to do something about it brushed his behaviour under the rug. Those who were in the know were tapped on the shoulder and pressured to keep quiet, and where have we seen that kind of shit before? I keep hearing how ToonKritic was supposedly a master manipulator who tricked everyone around him. Bullshit. What Toon's friends knew about may have only been the tip of the iceberg, but it was still enough that they should have never continued to associate with him professionally. Perhaps if they had cut ties with him sooner, Toon would not have had the power to do the things he did. I hate to quote Vida of all people on this, but you do need to hold your friends to high standards in these situations. The bottom line is, well-intentioned or not, you were indirectly complicit. You didn't want to be dragged down with a paedophile. Well, now you have a massive black mark next to your career. How about that? I don't particularly care at this point if saying these things will hinder my progression in the community. For me, the principle means more than the politics. There's been a lot of melodrama from the likes of Dulcet Tone and others about how the media will react and how this will hurt the image of the fandom.
Boom. Out the window. Good 5 years worth of work of our community trying to buck all of those stereotypes. Because this one dude proved them all right.
That's exactly the point though. It's not about one dude. And it's not just about naming and shaming individuals either. That still does not fix the abstract root of the problem.
There's something you need to remember about most content creators in the analysis community. They have extreme apathy to anything that doesn't affect them personally. Anything that does affect them, regardless of how trivial, is something they need to campaign against. But the minute it doesn't, it's drama and not worth paying attention to.
That clip is from a 5-month-old Lily Pete video, and how prophetic does that sound now? What you are seeing is the end result of that apathy. This community really needs to stop and have a good look at itself. We should be asking how many more skeletons there are in the closet. How many more creeps are being protected by a circle of friends scared of addressing the issue decisively, for fear of their names being tarnished? We need to have a good long look at ourselves, and if we can't do that, maybe we deserve those stereotypes and that bad reputation.